Hey Handy Moms, today I'm going to be working on getting this area here with all of my stuff in it turned into more of a workshop space. I have a lot of clutter, as you can see. Here's this new desk that I picked up, so I'm going to be working on modifying that and a bunch of other things because I need to make this a genuine workspace that's got good flow to it. So watch along as I start the process. idea is that this compound sliding miter saw here is going to fit in this hole. But before I can do that, I need to take off these little side wing pieces. These you would use if you had it like fastened to a stand like I had before. But since I'm countersinking it into this desk, I want it to run flush to the surface here, and in order for it to fit nicely in between, I'm going to get rid of these because I don't need them. Well, I was trying to salvage this front piece to drop it down and in, but of course, in order to have my angle piece be able to fit in there, I'm going to have to lose this piece as well. So I'll just strengthen up the back a little bit by putting a 1x1 in there just to give some rigidity between the two sides. And then I can measure in where I need to have it come down. I think it's 3.5 inches that I've measured it needs to come down in order to be flat against this here. So I'll keep working on this. So it's going to sit in there like that. Okay. Time to get my side bracing pieces put in and go from there. Okay, so right now I've got a piece of 1-inch plywood that I had laying around in my stock. I'm going to take this. I've got it cut to the width I need. I just need to cut it to the proper depth that I need right now. So it's going to butt up against this back plate, and then there are these little pieces in the front. So that's going to give me really good mounting points because I can screw through the front, through the back, and through each side. So it's going to hold it, and it's going to be able to support all of the weight of the saw plus whatever else I'm working on. So I'll just measure that cut right now. And just to make sure that this ends up being a nice straight cut, I'm going to go ahead and do it on my sliding saw here. Now, some people might go, well, do you really need a sliding compound miter saw? Just go with a regular saw and then do more stuff on your table saw, that sort of thing. I find I do like the sliding miter saw because I can take a big board like this, rip it one way, it goes a little better than half, flip it over, do the other side, and again, it's nice and clean and straight. And I did this, I've had this longer than I've had my table saw. So I just bought the table saw, So will I need the sliding mechanism as much now that I've got the table saw? Maybe not, but I have enjoyed using it, and it is a great tool, Mastercraft. And I got a 12-inch blade because I wanted it to be able to go a lot farther on the cuts. So anyway, now that I've got my nice flat edges, this board should just fit right up in there. Good. So I've got my 3.5 marked. Perfect. So that's going to be great. That's just on there. Now I just need to cut myself some 1x1s to fasten to the sides to screw this down onto it to give it that stability. I did have some 1x1s left over from when we framed in and drywalled in our storage room downstairs in the basement. So again, I don't get rid of anything, hung on to the scrap pieces, and now they're going to come in handy because I'm going to use them for the bracing pieces on here right now. So I can probably get away with 2, but I do have another one if I needed to do a third, or whatever scrap is left over. I can just make a couple of smaller pieces for the shelf, because I still have to be able to access at the back the angle mechanism for the saw. So I'll just get to cutting these. I'm gonna get myself some wood screws and screw those in. So what I've done is I've put the screws so they're just poking through. Now I'm gonna take my piece of 1x1 here, and just hold it up against, and I'm going to secure the center one, and then I will check for levelness before I go on the other 2. One's level. I can put the other screws in. Those are in, nice and secure. Take my shelf, slide it in, give it a fit. See how it looks. So, it's pretty stable. It looks pretty good. Now, before I secure anything down, I want to bring my sliding saw over here, put my miter saw down, and check, see if I need to shim anything underneath at all before I secure anything. So I'm a little high from where I was on the line. I think I forgot to calculate in with the 3.5, adding another 3/4 of an inch for the plywood, because that looks about how far I'm out, and I want this to be flush. So I'll just back those screws off, drop it down a little bit until I'm on that line, and then refasten it. The other thing I'm noticing I'm definitely going to have to do is I'm going to have to notch out the back here. so that I'm able to access this handle here, which controls the tilting motion for the saw, because I can also do bevel cuts on here as well. So that's an important feature I still want to have access to, so I'm going to have to notch out the back here. So I'm going to take some time and do that right now. And this is the part where you gotta, I'm building this from scratch, so all the fit and finish, I have to do that as I go. Again, I am not a professional carpenter by any stretch. I know how to use my tools. I know what they can and what they can't do. And so in building things like this, I've watched a lot of YouTube videos to get suggestions and ideas on how to make these types of tables. But bottom line, it just comes down to me going ahead and measuring and fitting and adjusting, remeasuring, fitting and adjusting till I get the final placement that I like. And then the last thing that I'm going to do with this table afterwards is it's going to have a connection so that my shop vac will collect the sawdust and not be spraying everywhere. So hopefully this area will be a lot cleaner. So more adjustments, and I'm going to get started on those right now. Let's check how even we are. I'm noticing this desk wobbles a little bit, so I'm going to have to probably shim it up on the floor. But as far as this goes, we are good to go. I like it. So now I can cut. I'm going to have bigger pieces. They can go right off the edges, and I don't have to worry about them falling or, you know, doing anything wonky because they're nice and secured here with the extra wings on the table. I've also got the shelves underneath. They've got doors, so I'm going to put those pieces back on, put the doors back on, and then the molding pieces. The thing it is missing is something on the back. So the backs are still wide open. I'm gonna look in my stock and see what I have for just rough piece of plywood, and see if I can just close those up, because I don't want things falling off, because on my garage I do have a 4-inch concrete lip that sticks out, so this is not actually going to sit flush against the wall. So this desk is done. I'm really pleased with it. I'm just going to move it into place, and then the next thing I can start working on now is cutting the pieces that I need to make the box that will hold my table saw, which I'm going to attach by a French cleat system, so that I can just, you know, hook it on the side and run long pieces. Again, I'm going to have a nice long tabletop for it to go across, and then I can take it off there and stick it underneath on the shelf and stow it away. So there's one project done, one of many. As you know, I still have so many going on. So anyway, if you like the video, please give me a like down below, hit the subscribe button if you want to see more videos coming up from Handy Mama's Workshop. Please share the videos with other people you may know, other women who might be kind of worried about trying some of these things or figuring it out. You know, we're girls in power tools. We rule. We got to keep trying things and figuring it out and seeing what we can do, because we are strong, we are smart, we can do this, and I encourage everybody to give it a try. So thanks for watching, and check out my other videos for other projects I'm working on. As I said, I wanted to close in the back. I went and looked in my stock, and I have some of these pieces of white melamine that I had used from other stuff, or white chipboard, or whatever this stuff is called. Okay, bad with names, doesn't matter. Anyway, I'm going to take these, cut them down to size, so that I can just nail them onto the back to make sure that no dust is going to get in to stay into the back before I go ahead and push my my saw against the wall. So let's go. Tap 3 nails across the top of each of them to stop any sawdust from falling down and in, and we're done. nice. All finished. So I'll just bring the camera on so you can see. So as you can see, what I've done here is secured the boards along the back. It just closes it up. I've got the nice cutout so I can still access the wheel to adjust for when I want to angle my saw. Front, I'm going to reattach the doors, and there was a little molding on the top. My saw sits in there nicely. And there's the other side. So just vacuuming, and it'll be all cleaned up and ready to go in the corner over there. Once I move everything out of there, then I can take this work table and put it back up against the door. So then I'll have a nice little L-shaped workspace. And I just I got to figure out where to attach the French cleat system for my table saw. And then I've got to be mindful, of course, as well for the dust collection out of that one there. So anyway, this table is pretty much done for now. Just adding the doors and the other thing back on. I'll show you a picture of it once it's back and put in place. All right, there it is, all put in place. The doors are on. The only thing I think I'm going to do is get a piece of 1/4-inch plywood, put over the top and around the back to make a bit better of a skirt. Because if we come and look, because this is a sliding saw, it sticks out quite a bit. And so I've got a huge gap back here that I need to fill. So that'll also allow me some room at the back to maybe put some organization and storage things. But for now, this is really good. I'm very pleased with it. So, one project done, many more to come.